Japan, a nation renowned for its harmonious blend of age-old traditions and state-of-the-art technology, offers an allure that is both unique and captivating. The country's stunning natural landscapes add to its enchanting appeal, drawing people from all over the world to experience its unique culture. However, like any nation, Japan also harbors less visible, more complex layers beneath its tranquil exterior. In recent times, Japan has witnessed an unsettling increase in mysterious and disturbing crimes. These incidents, often grabbing national and international headlines, serve as stark reminders of the intricate and multifaceted nature of society. Behind Japan's serene facade exists a reality marked by a spectrum of human experiences, including those that are deeply troubling. On March 24, 2007, a disturbing mystery unfolded in Chiba, Japan, when 23-year-old Lindsay Hawker vanished. This tragic event triggered a relentless 3-year manhunt that captivated the world. Lindsay, hailing from Coventry, England, was a beloved figure in her community. Born on December 30, 1984, she excelled academically, culminating in her graduation from the University of Leeds in 2006 with a first-class honors degree in biology. Ambitious and adventurous, Lindsay yearned for a gap year to explore the world before pursuing her master's degree. In October 2006, she embarked on a journey to Japan, joining the Nova Teaching School to experience the rich culture and beauty of the country. Upon her arrival in Japan, Lindsay settled in Koiwa, a quaint district in Edogawa, Tokyo. She chose to reside in the nearby city of Chiba, drawn by its more affordable living costs. There, she shared a home with 2 fellow Nova school teachers, who quickly became close friends. Despite the distance, Lindsay maintained a strong connection with her family and boyfriend in England, frequently reaching out via Facebook, WhatsApp, Skype, texts, and calls. She cherished her time in Japan, embracing every moment of her new adventure. Upon her arrival in Japan, Lindsay Hawker settled in Koiwa, a district in Edogawa, Tokyo, but chose to live in Chiba for its more affordable housing. She quickly formed friendships with 2 fellow Nova school teachers with whom she shared an apartment. Throughout her stay, she diligently maintained contact with her loved ones in England through various digital means, enjoying her new life in Japan. However, 6 months into her stay, in March 2007, Lindsay encountered a peculiar and unsettling situation. One day, after finishing work, she went to retrieve her bicycle from Chiba Station. As she was unlocking it, she was approached by a man who inexplicably claimed, "You are my English teacher." Lindsay, certain he was not one of her students, politely ended the conversation and rode away. The man began to follow her, even running after her as she increased her speed. Despite her efforts to escape, he persistently asked personal questions, such as her origins and educational background. In a bid to lose him, Lindsay stopped outside her apartment. Here, the man asked for English lessons, offering to meet in a public cafe and pay generously. Despite his insistence, Lindsay declined, citing her busy schedule. He then made an unusual request for a glass of water, citing exhaustion from the chase. Reluctantly, Lindsay agreed, partly to ensure her housemates saw his face and to demonstrate that she didn't live alone, potentially deterring any sinister intentions he might have. Once inside, the man repeated his request for English lessons, this time offering 3,500 yen per hour. Lindsay, tempted by the offer, agreed to meet him at a coffee shop a few days later. Before leaving, the man scribbled something on a piece of paper, handing it to Lindsay. It was a drawing of her with his name and number, Tatsuya Ichihashi, 04735672238. This interaction, seemingly benign at first, would soon reveal its ominous nature in the events that followed. Tatsuya, a 28-year-old man from Ichikawa, had relocated to Chiba with ambitions initially mirroring his father's, to become a medical doctor. However, his aspirations were thwarted when he was denied further education in the medical field. Subsequently, He earned a degree in horticulture from the University of Chiba in 2005. But post-graduation, Tatsuya drifted into a stagnant lifestyle. He made no attempts to pursue a career, instead relying on a monthly allowance of 100,000 yen, $1920, from his parents. Despite no official criminal record, Tatsuya had previously been embroiled in a serious legal allegation. He was accused of assaulting a woman during a robbery. This incident was quietly resolved when his father compensated the victim with 1 million yen $10,000, circumventing legal consequences. This act not only hinted at Tatsuya's potentially dangerous tendencies, but also showcased his family's means and influence in suppressing his misdeeds. Tatsuya's social demeanor was marked by isolation. He was often perceived as a loner, with an intense focus on physical fitness. His daily routine included rigorous workouts at a local gym and cycling over 25 kilometers, which seemed to be his only commitment. This combination of a lack of professional direction, previous questionable behavior, and an intense physical regimen painted a picture of a potentially volatile individual, one who could pose a significant threat to society if left unchecked. On the fateful day of Saturday, March 24, 2007, Lindsay Hawker and Tatsuya Ichihashi met for their first English lesson at a local coffee shop. The scene, captured on CCTV, showed them in line, engaged in conversation. Lindsay appeared composed, yet deliberately maintained a physical distance from Tatsuya, subtly stepping back whenever he came too close. The lesson, lasting just over an hour, seemed unremarkable on the surface. As the session concluded, Tatsuya claimed he had forgotten to bring money to pay for the lesson. He suggested Lindsay accompany him to his apartment, a mere half-mile away, to collect her payment. Trustingly, Lindsay agreed, and they both hailed a taxi to his residence. Upon arrival, Lindsay, with a sense of responsibility, informed the taxi driver that she would be quick, as she had work later that afternoon. The driver waited as both Lindsay and Tatsuya entered the building. However, minutes ticked by, and Lindsay did not reappear. The taxi driver, under the impression that her plans had changed, eventually left. This moment marked the beginning of a deeply unsettling mystery: the sudden and inexplicable disappearance of Lindsay Hawker, a scenario that raised alarming questions and foreshadowed a tragic and perplexing case. Lindsay Hawker's disappearance on the afternoon of March 24, 2007, quickly escalated into a grave concern. Hours passed with no sign of her at home, prompting her worried roommates to contact the police, who initially did not take the report seriously. Alarm bells rang louder when Lindsay failed to show up for work on Monday, leading the Nova Teaching School to inform her parents in England. It was clear something was terribly wrong, prompting a renewed urgency in the police response. The investigation began at Lindsay's apartment, where her roommates recounted the odd encounter she had with a man named Tatsuya Ichihashi, providing the police with the sketch he had given Lindsay. On the evening of Monday, March 26th, 2 officers arrived at Tatsuya's apartment. Receiving no response, they gained a vantage point from a neighboring balcony. They observed unsettling signs, such as the lights being off and what seemed like movement inside. Strangely, Tatsuya's bathtub was moved to his balcony, an unusual sight that raised suspicions. Believing Lindsay might be held captive, the officers called for backup. By the time 9 officers assembled to raid the apartment, a dramatic turn of events unfolded. Tatsuya, seizing a moment of chaos, burst out of his apartment barefoot with a rucksack. Despite the officers' attempts to apprehend him, he managed to escape into the night, leaving behind only his rucksack. The search of Tatsuya's apartment revealed a horrific scene. Lindsay's naked body was found in the bathtub on the balcony, concealed under a mix of soil and sand, with only her right hand protruding. Tatsuya had attempted to mask the grave by planting seeds atop the soil, using a decomposition agent to accelerate the process. Disturbingly, Lindsay's hair had been completely shaved off. The discovery of multiple women's wigs in the apartment led to speculation that Tatsuya might be a cross-dresser. This detail fueled unconfirmed rumors that he murdered Lindsay to use her hair for a wig, adding a macabre twist to an already tragic and shocking case. The saga following Lindsay Hawker's tragic death highlighted both the cunning evasion tactics of Tatsuya Ichihashi and the shortcomings of the Japanese police force. By the following morning, Tatsuya was a national fugitive, with his face plastered across wanted posters and news broadcasts. However, initial efforts proved fruitless. In an attempt to account for possible disguises, the police released photoshopped images of Tatsuya in various wigs, suspecting he might be in disguise, but this too led nowhere. Lindsay's parents, dissatisfied with the progress of the investigation, flew to Japan 2 months later. They took proactive steps, including liaising with the Yakuza, to intensify the search for their daughter's killer. This move underscored their perception of the police's dwindling efforts. The media soon began scrutinizing the effectiveness of the Japanese police. Critical questions arose. How did 9 officers fail to capture Tatsuya at his apartment? Why was there a delay in interrogating key witnesses? And was the police aware that their circulated image of Tatsuya was outdated by 7 years? This scrutiny led to public disputes between the police and Lindsay's family, drawing widespread attention from both British and Japanese media. Meanwhile, Tatsuya demonstrated alarming resourcefulness and determination to evade capture. He traversed Japan, from Aomori in the north to Okinawa in the south. Between 2008 and 2009, he was in Osaka, living discreetly in internet cafes and working construction jobs. In a drastic attempt to alter his appearance, he saved for plastic surgery and even resorted to self-mutilation, removing facial moles with a knife, altering his lip with scissors, and reshaping his nose with thread. By the summer of 2009, with Tatsuya still at large, the police grew increasingly desperate. They increased the reward for his capture from 1 million yen, $10,000, to 10 million yen, $100,000, and circulated additional photoshopped images to reflect his likely altered appearance post-surgery. This escalation in the manhunt highlighted the severity of the situation and the extent of Tatsuya's evasion tactics. In October 2009, a significant break in the case occurred when a plastic surgeon contacted the police. He suspected he had recently operated on Tatsuya Ichihashi and provided before and after photos, which were promptly released to the public. This development quickly bore fruit. A construction site colleague of Tatsuya's recognized him from the new images and alerted the authorities. Tatsuya, sensing the tightening noose of the law, hastily planned an escape to Okinawa, intending to hide in an abandoned bunker on a remote island, a tactic he had employed previously. However, on November 10, 2009, as Tatsuya attempted to discreetly board a ferry at Osaka's port, his plan unraveled. A port staff member recognized him and discreetly informed the police. Confronted by the authorities and asked for his identity, Tatsuya resignedly confessed, "Yes, it is me, Tatsuya Ichihashi." He was arrested on the spot, initially charged with abandoning a body, and later faced additional charges of rape and murder. Tatsuya's trial, which began on July 4, 2011, was swift and damning. He confessed to luring Lindsay to his home, raping her, and strangling her in a panic to silence her screams. The media fervently followed the trial, with intense speculation over whether Tatsuya would face Japan's death penalty, a rare sentence for single-victim murders. Despite public outcry for the ultimate punishment, Tatsuya was sentenced to life imprisonment on July 21, with eligibility for parole after 10 years. In a controversial move, Tatsuya appealed the sentence in 2012, claiming excessive harshness and maintaining the death was accidental. The Tokyo High Court, however, upheld the original verdict. Adding to the Hawker family's anguish, Tatsuya wrote a book from prison detailing his fugitive experience. The book, wildly successful in Britain with over 100,000 copies sold, was even adapted into a film titled I Am Ichihashi, the Journal of a Murderer. Despite Tatsuya's offer to give the royalties to Lindsay's parents, they refused. As of 2022, Tatsuya remains incarcerated, his story a chilling reminder of the consequences of crime and the resilience of justice.